Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today I'll show you the accessibility options available on the Fossil Gen 5 as well as the TicWatchPro 2020. So let's get started. If it's your first time on my channel, consider subscribing as I do regular videos for various smartwatches like this one, smartphone reviews, tech tutorials and much more. You'll find a dedicated playlist for Wear OS smartwatches with more detailed videos like this one, so be sure to check it out. So a while back I did a video on the accessibility options available on the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2. You can find it linked at the end of this video, and a lot of people wanted to know the accessibility options on the Wear OS smartwatches. So here it is. What I found is that the accessibility options are identical on both the Fossil Gen 5 and the TicWatchPro 2020. So instead of doing a separate video for each one, I will show you all the options on either of this watch alternately. For your information, these options do not change irrespective of which device they are paired with. Like this TicWatchPro 2020 is paired with my iPhone and the Fossil Gen 5 is currently paired with my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. I'm not 100% sure, but I think these options should be the same on any Wear OS smartwatches which has a built-in speaker. Comment down below if you have another Wear OS smartwatch with the same accessibility options. With all that being said, let's start with where to find them. Go in the settings of your watch, scroll down to find accessibility. It's good that a lot of new smartwatches nowadays include some form of accessibility options like most of the smartphones. These options may not mean anything to a regular person without any form of disability, but they mean a world to the person with visual or auditory disability. So the first option is the Magnification Gesture. As the name implies, it is used to magnify the screen elements. So once you turn this option on, you can triple tap anywhere on the screen to magnify that particular element. So you can triple tap on any area of the screen you want to enlarge, and you can triple tap again to revert the magnification back. Now there is a way to even zoom further, like after when you have triple tapped on any part of the screen, you then can double tap again on a particular part of the screen to further zoom in momentarily. But keep in mind that zooming in to this level makes the image a bit grainy, which is obvious as the watch does not have 4K or 8K resolution. Now I noticed that there ain't any other visual accessibility option like the invert color, negative color screen, etc. which I found on my Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2. However, you can use few developer mode options at your advantage, like the debug layout, debug overdraw, window animation scale, etc. which I am not going to talk in this video as I have done a separate video that is linked up here in case if you guys wanna check it out once you're done watching this one. Alright, moving on, it's the text to speech output, which is basically converting text to audio output via the built-in speaker of your watch. So for this option to work, you have to have a built-in speaker or it will not work. So the first option under it is the Google text-to-speech engine. Basically, this Wear OS smartwatches uses the Google's engine for text-to-audio conversion. When you enter this, you will find three options like language, which is by default the system language which you assign during the setup process, but you do have a lot of options to choose from, which is really nice. The next option is an example. So when you click on this, you will hear an example from the built-in speaker of the watch.
This is an example of speech synthesis in English.
Lastly, it's the set as default option, which is somehow not clickable. Moving back, you can also adjust the speech rate from very slow to the fastest. Going back on the main accessibility menu, you'll find the talk back, which says experimental underneath it. Turning this option on makes your watch as a screen reader, which allows interaction with the device using spoken feedback. This will be highly useful for visually disabled people. Now let me quickly explain you all the options you get over here. When you open it, you get settings and option to enable it. Let's first talk about settings. When you enter settings, the first option is verbosity, where you get 3 preset options like high, which basically turns on all the options under verbosity, low, which basically turns off all the options, and custom is where you can manually toggle on and off whichever you want, like the keyboard echo, where you can select whether you want the watch to speak typed keys or not. Next is speak usage hint, which are spoken during navigation after a brief delay. After that, it's speak list and grid information, which you can turn off if you don't want the watch to read through the entire list. You can even select the speak the number of the list items on the screen, which would work better than the former in my opinion. Next is speak element type, speak phonetic letters, use pitch changes, speak when screen is off, and some miscellaneous options like the element description order, where you can change the order between state, name, and type, and lastly the speak element IDs. So all these options gives verbosity customization to the user. This is not available on Active 2. Let's go back on the main setting menu. Under verbosity, you will find shake to start continuous reading. You can turn off the next options in public, which is the speak passwords, as you don't want your password to be spoken out loud in public. There are other feedback options like the vibration feedback, sound feedback, audio ducking, which is ingenious and works like a charm, so it basically decreases other audio volume while the watch is speaking back to you. Next is sound volume, where you can either match the media volume or select your desired volume. Moving on, under the navigation, you'll find explore by touch, automatically scroll lists, single tap activation, which says experimental. Basically, if this option is turned off, you have to double click on any spoken element. This is just a single click to select it. Next is show context menu as list. You can also have a talkback tutorial if you want. Under gestures, you'll find shortcut gestures like, for example, by default to swipe up, you have to scroll forward. Likewise, you can customize a lot of options over here. Going back under miscellaneous, you will find talkback, suspend and resume shortcuts, and resume for suspended options, which currently says when the screen is turned on. Lastly, there are a few other options like talkback version, developer settings. Now this developer setting is different than the developer options that I have talked about in a video linked up here. You can check it out once you're done watching this one. Lastly, it's help, privacy policy, and terms of services. That's basically a lot of customization at your fingertips. I have not seen such level of customization for accessibility option on any other smartwatch so far. Now let's do a demo of what it sounds like when it's enabled.
Quick settings. Open settings. Home. Settings. Display. Sound. Apps. Connectivity. Accessibility. Apps and accessibility. Accessibility. Off switch magnification. Text to speech out. On switch talkback. Talkback experimental. Talkback is a screen reader primarily for people with blind. Settings button. Disable button. Talkback.
The last option under accessibility is power button ends call, which is pretty self-explanatory. So by browsing the accessibility options on other smartwatches, to me it feels like the options of Fossil Gen 5 and the TicWatch Pro 2020 allows a lot of customization. As you heard earlier, you can pretty much control a lot of options with TalkBack. And it definitely feels like that the watch is a pretty good screen reader. I can literally close my eyes and move around wherever I have to. Now I know it's hard to comprehend when all this is coming from a person without any disability, but I wanted to show you all the options at my best abilities. So I really hope this video helped. Stay tuned by subscribing, as I'll be posting more accessibility option videos for other smartwatches. Comment down below if you want me to cover any one in particular. I also want you guys to know that you can chat with me directly on my Discord server linked in the description of this video, and there you can also discuss and troubleshoot a lot of smartwatches and smartphones. So if you're on Discord, join me on my server. With that being said, I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please give this video a thumbs up. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for watching and take care. I'll catch you guys in the next one.